Those ancient enemies, the Cherokees and the Vikings, take to our stage for another battle next on Quiz Kids.
It's the Bay Area Quiz Kids. Brought to you by the San Mateo Credit Union. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Yes, we're about to have another bloody academic battle here on our stage with two returning teams. Over here we have the Mills High School Vikings. And they are fighting the Sequoia Cherokees. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our stage. We will begin, as always, with our first three-for-all round. I will ask you a 5-point toss-up question. Get the question right, you get a chance to score maybe 10 or up to 25 points. Good luck to both teams. Here's your first toss-up. Failure to seize Culp's Hill and Little Round Top. The ill-fated Pickett's charge doomed the Confederate side. Yes, Anurag?
Gettysburg?
Yes. Ulysses S. Grant overcame a surprise attack to win what 1862 battle fought in Tennessee? You can talk it over.
1862 battle. Nashville?
It's Shiloh. A purported discovery of a cold form made science headlines in 1989. Name this process that joins two lighter nuclei to form, yes, Richard?
Fusion?
Right. The energy output of most stars comes from fusing which element whose most common isotope is called protium?
Hydrogen. Hydrogen?
Right. In order to achieve nuclear fusion, atomic nuclei must overcome what barrier where the strong nuclear force overcomes electrical repulsion?
Nuclear forces? I don't know.
The Coulomb barrier. Its characters include a lawyer named Atticus Finch, who agrees to defend, yes, William?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird is the only novel published by which author who won a Pulitzer Prize for it?
William Faulkner.
No, it was Harper Lee. William Faulkner wrote a lot of books. Miles Standish fought for this colony that later became part of Massachusetts. Name that settlement built around a rock where the yes, William?
Plymouth.
Yes. Many of Plymouth's residents practiced this form of Anglicanism that advocated further reformation to form a more precise church.
Puritanism.
Right. This man served his first of 5 separate terms as governor in 1621. His journal was published as Of Plymouth Plantation.
William Bradford.
You got 25 points.
Respect.
The protagonist of the novel Native Son lives on this city's south side with his sister, yes, Michael.
Richard Wright.
Say what?
Richard Wright.
No, I'm sorry. Lives on this city's south side with his sister Vera and brother Buddy. Name that most populous Midwestern city, also the setting of Upton Sinclair's The Jungle. You can talk it over. Or...
Chicago. Yeah. Chicago?
Right. Yeah. Which African-American author of Native Son also wrote Uncle Tom's Children?
Son. Ellison? Ellison?
Well, that's where you would have said Richard Wright.
Wow.
The Soviet Union replaced the Russian Empire. Starting with Ivan the Terrible, imperial rulers of Russia used what name? Yes, William?
Tsar.
During her reign, she put down the Pugachev revolt. What wife of Peter III ruled as Tsarita, taking the throne after a coup overthrew her husband?
Catherine the Great.
The last ruler from the first dynasty of Russian czars, the Rurikid dynasty, died without an heir, leading to what turbulent period of Russian history? It's the time of troubles. Temperature is directly related to the kinetic energy of atoms in a material. At what temperature do materials have the lowest possible kinetic? Yes, Catherine?
0 Kelvin?
Accept that.
I will accept that. Because water can easily store thermal energy in bond vibrations rather than its kinetic energy, it has a high value of for what property? The energy needed to raise its temperature a fixed amount.
Specific heat? Specific heat capacity?
Yes. What lab device with a bomb type is used to measure a material's heat capacity or a reaction's kinetic energy?
Calorimeter?
You got it for 25 points. Samuel Wallace spotted it in 1767, over a century before a certain post-impressionist painter moved here. Name this Polynesian island whose modern capital is Papeete. Yes, William?
Fiji.
No. You can steal. Talk it over.
Guess Tahiti. Tahiti?
That's right. Tahiti and several other islands form a constituent country of what European nation?
France. France?
Right. Tahitian women on the beach and two Tahitian women were both painted by this French artist.
Monet? Renoir?
He spent most of his life in Tahiti. Paul Gauguin. Which author of The Bronze Horseman and Eugene Onegin wrote of the time of troubles in his drama Boris Godunov? Anurag.
Pushkin?
Yes. Which Russian translator of Goethe and Shakespeare wrote Dr. Zhivago and won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1958?
Goethe? Goethe?
No, it was Boris Pasternak. It seized Silesia from its neighbor in the War of the Austrian Succession. Name this militaristic kingdom ruled by the Hohenzollern family. Yes, William.
Kingdom of Prussia.
Yes. Which Prussian monarch led his state into the War of the Austrian Succession and the 7 Years' War?
Frederick the Great.
Right. Prussia's generals were drawn from which military class of landowning aristocrats?
The Junkers.
That is right for 25 points. We'll be right back with more Quiz Kids.
Since 1952, San Mateo Credit Union has been proud to help San Mateo County members and their families achieve their financial dreams. Our deep commitment to the community we serve includes offering a wide variety of financial education programs, like financial literacy workshops for youth, adults, and seniors, seminars about raising money-smart kids, identity theft prevention, and many more. For more information about San Mateo Credit Union, visit us at www.smcu.org.
Hey, need some video work done? We can do that. We do all that video stuff. We can even put your video on that internet thingy. At Peninsula TV, we do full-blown in-studio production. Talk shows, performances, speeches, anything. Remote multi-camera production, on location, at your event. And for the budget-minded, single camcorder production in high definition. We'll take your video project from first idea to finished product. For more info, contact Peninsula TV.
And now it's time to meet the Quiz Kids. Once again, here's Brad.
Hello, everybody. Our computer system, which we have named HAL, got ahead of himself and gave Mills a few too many points. So we're going to correct your score from 75 down to 60, which is your accurate score. And we will begin by talking with the Mills Vikings and Richard Zhang, who said, I have nothing to tell you, and then sort of sheepishly revealed that he has gotten accepted to Cornell. That's good. Yeah. Applause. Did that slip your mind, Richard?
It's not really like a big, like...
To get into an Ivy League school,
action.
Yeah.
It's not like an action.
It's not an action. Yeah, because you did nothing yourself to get into Cornell. 12 years of public education. Look at me. I'm trying to bolster you. What are you going to be? What are you going to study?
An engineer.
Good. And I know you'll be a good one. Anurag Dulapalli, you're part of Model UN, which is meeting in Berkeley in a couple of weeks, and you have gotten a special position over in the Model UN this time.
Yeah, I get to be a justice in the International Court of Justice.
Cool.
So we're discussing a whaling issue, actually. Australia doesn't like Japan's whaling program, and Japan wants to keep it, so there's a huge conflict going on.
Usually in these things, you kids actually solve a problem that the world's leaders can't. So maybe you guys will ship your answers to these countries and help the whaling industry throughout the world.
We'll try.
Catherine Ho, there's a musical coming up at Mills, and you are part of it. What is the show?
Yes, we are performing Seussical this coming spring. I am a first violin in the orchestra. I've been playing for it for all 4 years, and it's turning out to be a great show this year.
And just comparing to the other shows you played, is it harder, easier? Do you enjoy the...
It's actually been quite challenging this year. Lots of tricky passages and things like that.
Good.
But yeah. We're
Excellent.
going strong right now.
Well, enjoy and break a bow. It's time to have a chance to gain the lead by scoring some points in our round here. I've got 3 categories with 7 10-point questions. Answer all questions correctly, I'll throw in a 30-point bonus. Today's category are barbershop, just crazy, and little people, big category.
Little people? Little people, big category?
Name these things having to do with dwarves.
Do we know any famous dwarves?
He is apparently the most educated of Snow White's companions, though it's questionable whether he's board certified.
Oh, yeah.
Doc?
That's right. A childhood accident stunted the growth of this Parisian illustrator of Moulin Rouge posters.
Go again.
No, it's Toulouse-Lautrec. This British sci-fi comedy stars the last human 3 million years in the future, whose companions include a neurotic robot and an evolved cat.
Red dwarf?
Red dwarf.
Red dwarf?
That's right. In The Hobbit, this dwarf is the king under the mountain, who regains his kingdom briefly before the Battle of the Five Armies.
I don't remember.
Thorin?
That is right. It's Thorin Oakenshield. The greatest show on Earth included this short performer who shared his name with an early railroad locomotive.
Do we know any dwarves or how?
Tom Thumb.
That is Tom Thumb, yes. You're getting these little tiny answers really well. Okay. In Norse legend, Sigurd Volsung killed this dwarf who has transformed into a dragon guarding much treasure.
Okay. Loki.
Fafnir. And finally, low levels of this hormone can cause dwarfism in humans.
Serotonin?
It is the human growth hormone. But you got four correct, 40 points. Congratulations. Let's say hi to the Sequoia team, known as the Cherokees, also known as the Ravens. It's just whatever mood suits you. William Baker, you took part in my good friend Jeff Steinberg's sojourn to the past recently. Tell us a little bit about that trip and how it was for you.
Well, it's a trip where high school students go down to the South, and it's about civil rights and social justice. And we flew into Atlanta. We stayed in Georgia for a couple of days. Went to Alabama.
Meet some people actually involved in the whole process.
Yeah. Well, like the big thing is what Mr. Steinberg's saying, that a lot of the civil rights leaders aren't well known in school, so we get introduced to them, and hopefully we come back and
it's a great program, and you guys can then spread that knowledge around. Michael Wuscher, you took part in a debate tournament that your school hosted yesterday.
Yeah, well, we hosted the tournament to give our school more notoriety around the Bay Area for debate and speech, but we didn't actually participate in it ourselves. We ran the tournament and made sure everybody was able to get to their rounds correctly, and it was a policy and LD tournament, a Lincoln Douglas tournament, so people...
It went well.
Yeah, it went really well.
And you raised some money for your school.
Yeah, everybody complimented our school and said how efficient it was, and it actually looked like a private school, they said, so... It was,
wow, that doesn't sound notorious at all, but maybe famous.
Yeah.
Tristan Noth, as a total non-Italian, you are the co-founder of the Italian Club, and actively take part in Italian events. And why this club for you, who is perhaps Scandinavian in origin or whatever?
Yeah, I'm basically all the other European countries, and then
except for Italy.
Yeah,
right.
And then I take part in it because there's really good food, and Michael started it basically.
Okay.
And
so you go for the food.
Partly.
Excellent. Excellent. Good job. Gentlemen, let's give you a chance to earn some points. 2 more categories, barbershop and just crazy.
Just crazy barbershop. Just crazy.
Just crazy.
Just crazy. Well, name these things associated with being crazy.
Okay.
In this Ken Kesey novel, an inmate plots against Nurse Ratchet's tyranny.
It's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
You say it.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Right. This phrase about a crazy Boilermaker was made famous by a Lewis Carroll character who made his appearance at a tea party. We're looking for the phrase, not the character.
The phrase, not the character.
Mad as a Hatter.
That is right. Yeah. This Ricky Martin song glorifies the crazy rock and roll life. Living la vida loca. He says of Hamlet's behavior, though this be madness, there is method in it.
Claudius?
Say
Claudius?
No, it's Polonius. This word for mad chaos originated as the name of London's first insane asylum.
Bedlam.
Right. It's the Nikolai Gogol short story that none of you have read.
It's like madness.
Madness?
No, it's called Diary of a Madman. And finally, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck are the stars of this animation series.
Looney Tunes.
You got it. You got 4 right. 105. Close game. Let's see what happens when we return.
And now we're back with the second half of Quiz Kids. Take it away, Brad.
Welcome back. We'd like to express our appreciation for the coaches for both teams. Mill High School's team, Grant Paul, is not here, but we do have the alternates, Marsha Lee and Jason Chun. And let's say thanks to the Sequoia coach, Miss Laura Larkin. All right, we will now return to the 3-for-all. This time the point values are doubled, 10, 25, and 50 points. We have a very close game. Good luck to both teams. Here's your first toss-up. In this novel, Sidney Carton takes Charles Darnay's place. Yes, William.
Tale of Two Cities.
Mistaken identity also figures in what Shakespeare play about the twins Antipholus of Syracuse and Antipholus of Ephesus and their twin servants, both likewise named Dromio?
Pericles?
No, it's the Comedy of Errors. Introductory physics courses often study an idealized system consisting of a massive bob at the end of a massless rod. Yes, Michael.
Pendulum?
The simple pendulum exhibits what kind of motion wherein acceleration is proportional to displacement?
Harmonic?
May I accept that? Yes. Yes. Simple harmonic motion in a pendulum only really occurs if the small angle approximation holds true. In that approximation, which function of the pendulum's angle equals the angle itself?
Sine? I don't know.
That is right. The sine function. You got 50 points. You do know. Its prime minister is Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Name this Muslim nation that straddles Europe and Asia. Yes, William?
Turkey.
Right. A source of tension between Turkey and Greece is what island nation where a de facto partition separates the independent south from the Turkish-occupied north?
Cyprus.
In September 2011, Turkey expelled which nation's ambassador after it refused to apologize for a 2010 raid on an ocean-going flotilla that killed 9 Turks?
Israel.
You got 50 points again. Known as Gaius Octavius as a teenager, he helped form the Second Triumvirate. Yes, Michael?
Augustus.
Known for his verbal gaffes, which Indiana senator became vice president under George H.W. Bush?
Dan Quayle.
What's the connection here? These men correspond respectively to the highest and lowest possible rankings in a 2010 computer strategy game created by Sid Meier, the 5th in what series?
Civilization.
Another 50 points. Spaces are named after locations in Atlantic City. In what board game whose community... Catherine.
Monopoly?
Which board game comes with a card titled Kamchatka? And if you turn in cards showing territories you control, you get 2 extra armies.
Risk?
Right. Which board game comes with a card titled Field Watchman, whose occupation lets you plow a field whenever you take a grain?
Is that Settlers of Catan?
Settlers of Catan?
No, it's Agricola.
Oh.
Has anybody in this world played Agricola? What is that? Many chemical elements exist in multiple forms known as allotropes. What nonmetals allotropes include the hardest known natural mineral, diamond? Anurag.
Carbon.
Diamond is a good electrical insulator, but a good conductor is what stable allotrope of carbon used to make pencil leads?
Graphite.
In 1985, chemists at Rice University first prepared what spherical molecules of 60 carbon atoms named in honor of the creator of the geodesic dome?
Buckminster Fullerene.
Can I accept that? We'll take it, 50 points. And that's the end of the round. 175 for Mills, 265 for Sequoia. We'll be right back.
Tournament champions will win an all-expenses-paid trip to Europe, courtesy of ACIS.
All right, we have a close game, and it's time for the countdown round. I'll put 3 minutes on the clock. Each question is worth 30 points. The clock will start when I begin reading the first question. Good luck to both teams. He wrote about a trip with his brother Orion in Roughing It, but what author is better known for a novel about a runaway slave on the Mississippi River with the adolescent? Yes, William.
Mark Twain.
Right. He lost the 1944 presidential election, but thought he was a shoo-in in 1948. William.
Adele Stevenson.
No. All the same, who lost in the greatest presidential upset in American history to Harry Truman?
Oh, Dewey?
Yes. After dining with the Greek gods, he returned the favor by cooking them a new recipe, Peloponnesian stew, featuring his son Pelops. In revulsion, the gods punished Tristan.
Tantalus.
Yes. Only 4 of the 5 Varnas are recognized, while the 5th Varna, known as untouchables, perform unclean jobs. Anurag.
Castes?
The caste system is right. This constant is linked to the definition of the mole. What number in chemistry is approximately, Catherine?
6.02 times 10 to the 23.
Yes. At first controversy, but now warm acceptance, greeted his glass pyramid at the Louvre. Who is this Chinese-American architect? Richard.
I.M. Pei.
Right. For Augustus, he wrote the Hymn of the New Age. What poet is most famous for saying...
Livy.
Michael. No. What poet is most famous for saying, seize the day, carpe diem, as seen in Dead Poet Society?
Burns?
No, Horace. It sometimes has a poly-A tail and comes in ribosomal, messenger, and transfer forms. Yes, Catherine.
RNA.
Right. Dan Akerson is the CEO of which company that raised $20 billion via a 2010 IPO and is partly owned by its main union, the United... Yes, William.
Zanga.
No, the United Auto Workers. What is the
GM?
corporation?
GM?
Yes. Jamie Ross, Claire Kincaid, Abby Carmichael, and Connie Rubirosa were assistant district attorneys on what police and lawyer drama set in New York? Michael.
Crime and Punishment.
No, you can steal.
Criminal Minds.
Law and Order. Its fossils were first found in Bavaria. The Greek words for ancient wing identify what Yes, Catherine.
Archaeopteryx?
Yes. He created the Trask family in his biblically inspired novel East of Eden. What author? Yes, Anurag.
Steinbeck?
Right. Bermuda, the Azores, and Iceland were actually peaks along what mid-ocean feature atop a divergent tectonic plate boundary? Yes, Catherine.
The underwater Atlantic Ridge?
Okay. It is the first #1 on the Hot 100 by an Asian American group. Which song has Ladies Love My Style, At My Table Getting Wild, sung by the Far East Movement? Tristan.
Like a G8 or G6.
Okay.
No.
A glissando played on this instrument opens Rhapsody in Blue.
Okay.
Artie Shaw, yes, William.
Trombone.
No. Artie Shaw, Benny Goodman, and Woody Allen all play what woodwind instrument?
Saxophone?
Clarinet. In 1972, this nation introduced its gross national happiness. Yes, William.
Bhutan.
Right. 6 people were killed there and 13 others, including U.S. Representative Gabriel Clifford. That is the end of the game. 385 for Sequoia. Mills moves on with 445. Thank you, teams, and thank you, audience. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Promotional consideration furnished by the Burlingame Scottish Rite, the Knights Templar, Model Compilers, the Bay Area Academic League. Some questions of Quiz Kids are provided by National Academic Quiz Tournaments.